Okay, here we are today with the Project 240SX that we'll be doing a 2JZ VVTI swap on. I have the cylinder head back from the machine shop and I'm just doing a little bit of an inspection here. Typically what I like to do is once I've taken the plastic off is I will look through each of these areas and I will look to see if there's any burrs that I can catch my finger on. Visually I'll also look for any type of gouges or scratches or anything. Even if your head goes to the machine shop in good shape and then you get it back afterwards, I typically still like to check all of these things because not all machine shops are perfect. Not all of them will always give you back the product that you expect. So even if it's a well-known shop, I still like to do this and do all the checks and make sure that there's no burrs here on the edges or anything. I imagine that when they use the tools to pull these out, you could always nick the side, but I don't know. I've never done springs myself before. Back here there was you might be able to see it, a slight burring right here, so I'm probably going to take some oil and start with probably about a medium grit, I don't know, maybe like 1,000, and then figure out where to go from there. But it's just going to hit this edge a little bit, that way when I put the cams in, I tighten everything down, that it doesn't start gouging the cam. Now, being that this is aluminum, you might think that you can probably have it massaged out through operation once the cams are spinning, but you would also then start to create debris that would circulate through your motor, which is what we don't want here. Now, the other thing I like to do with the cylinder head is I like to pretty much do the same checks I just did on the other side, but now in the mating surface area. What I will typically look for is to see if there is any raised areas around here on the edges where the gasket will seal, or even if there's even something that's pushed down pretty far, has I don't know what you would call it, like deep impressions that might not allow the head gasket to seal, but everything looks fairly good. Probably shouldn't put my fingers in this, but I just like to get a real feel as far as all the areas which were machined. I will also look for the same thing around the coolant jackets and the oil jackets. Just want to make sure everything is just nice and straight, again with no burrs, no deep indentations, nothing that's just going to stop the head gasket from creating a good seal against the block. But looking at this here, looks like everything is good to go. And I'd say the inspection is fine. Everything is incredibly clean on what they did here on the cylinder head. So pretty excited to have everything back. End up doing new valve seals as well and everything. Tested the springs. Seemed like they still had good pressure on them. And yeah, excited to get this together. Now, as I'm installing the buckets into the cylinder head, I like to take each one and do a nice cleaning on the shim and then around the bucket itself before I put it in the head. So I got all the shims and buckets back into the cylinder head now. And usually when you take these out, you want to make sure that they're numbered or you have a way that keeps track of them. I kept these in a box, all of them in their current order that they are in. And once you have those in there, you'll end up putting your cams back in there, torquing them down per the sequence of the Toyota service manual, and using feeler gauges in between the lobes and these shims to make sure that everything's spec'd out correctly. But everything's back in there, have all my other components ready to go back on, clean them up a little bit, and at that point we should have a nearly complete cylinder head. Now, as you're putting in your cams, you want to check across all the journals and make sure there's not any scoring, super deep gouging, scratches, or whatever. Same thing on the lobes. The only one that was slightly questionable is this one here. Can't catch it, but clearly I'm wearing gloves. I will take my glove off and then give that a good feel. See how it is. Worst case, if it even slightly catches, I'll take just some oil and probably a high grit, maybe 2,000 or 3,000, just kind of lightly smooth it out all the way around. Not sitting in one spot because it creates an uneven area, so just oil and go all the way around it. That should give me the good warm and fuzzy, and then we can do the same thing with the other cam. That'll go in as well. So this is the shelf where I keep all my JZ cylinder heads. This is the one that we're just working on. And next time I have some free time to come out here, I'm going to end up cleaning these up, make them look nice and pretty. Now, as far as the assembly that's been done, I did not torque everything down because I was a little concerned about the valves sticking out in the bottom and then me laying this head here on the shelf with the valves coming out. So did not want to risk bending them and left everything untorqued right now, but it's tentatively assembled. Everything fit in place nicely. Didn't see anything that was too concerning as far as the condition of the head and all the machine work done. So super clean cylinder head here. and I gotta get up in here and do some chores with the wife. But in the meantime, this is going to be the next engine that we'll be assembling at some point once this one is all finished up. So until then, we'll see you.